with the embarrassing loss of Week 6 finally behind the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons coming to town, the Panthers come in supporting a black top blue uni look for the first time ever. Would Dave Canellis stick to the running game and shoot down the Atlanta Falcons in this big rivalry game of I-85? Stay tuned to find out on Growlin' and Prowlin'. Welcome back, Panther Nation. Thank you guys so much for joining us yet again on another edition of Growlin' and Prowlin'. Of course, I am Mr. CeeLo. Not necessarily very happy, but I'm here to hang out with you guys, so that's always great. Hope you guys are doing great. Just want to give you guys a little bit of an update. And there are some things that are going down that I think you guys should know about. There are individuals that are out there talking about a trade for Chuba Hubbard, being that we're hearing that Jonathan Brooks may be on the verge of coming back. Listen, let me say it like this. I get it. I am a guy that is very tied to my players. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to say, oh, yeah, we need to get something for him. Guys, he's a running back. You're not going to get much for Chuba Hubbard. And so my whole state on this is that we got him with a 4th round pick. And there's going to be a lot of people that say, well, we could get another one. Why? So you can mess it up like you did with the TJ Tampa deal? Look, I get it. But Brooks ain't even guaranteed to come back fully healthy. Yeah? And the thing that I don't get is so many of you are not thinking long term. This guy could come in and he's not ready. He's not going to come in and just kill it the minute he gets here. It's not going to happen. And needless to say, do you guys need to think about they can have both of them on the field at the same time and what it can do to the offense. They even went with that double set on Sunday, Chuba Hubbard and Miles Sanders on the field at the same time. So I think it would be a great look. Now everybody's saying, "Oh, we'll trade him and get something for him." No. What are you gonna do if Brooks ain't ready? Miles Sanders sure is not ready to take over the lead running back position. So listen, we need to saddle those discussions. I'm gonna be honest with you. We need to saddle them. And I know a lot of you guys are like, why are we talking about this so early? Well, here's the reality. There's some questions that need to be answered before the November 5th trade deadline. One of them being, can we make a decision that is going to be in our best interest? And that is the most important thing that we have to understand at this junction. Can we make the right decision on one Chuba Hubbard? Because if we make a mistake and we don't make the right decision, this could cost us greatly. And we do not want to be a part of something that is going to cost us greatly. This is going to be a whole mess if we don't fix it. Now, before I go on, I just want to make sure that you guys are doing great. I hope all of you are having a good week. And as I said, I know this was a tough week for you, as we will get in the game in itself, which many of you, like I said, have not commented on the show or said anything. But I'm just going to go ahead and let you guys know. I told you so. Atlanta 38, Carolina 20. So before any of you start really going over and going off, listen, I told you guys, Andy Dalton was a good quarterback for what it's worth. But here's the issue. As a good friend of the show alluded to, Andy Dalton will give you at least 1 or 2 games, but he's going to give you one of those games where he just absolutely it doesn't look good. It just doesn't. I mean, we can sit here, we can make all kinds of claims and so on and so forth. But Dalton was 26 of 38, 221 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Now, I'm not going to pin this all on Dalton, and I'm going to tell you why. Because once again, Dave Canellis said, we're going to run the ball.
Run.
Now, if you guys watch my show, the one pregame I did, I said if the Falcons ran this football, they were going to win this game.
Run.
They ran the ball 38 times, you guys. And that's only, they actually ran it 34 times. Cousins ran it 4 times and lost 5 yards. But I said it, guys. If the Falcons found a running game, they're going to win this game. And they did. For almost 200 yards. Now, I'm going to leave the offense for a minute because I've heard a lot of people talking about Coach Ichiro Avero talking about maybe it's time to make a change. For what? Now, this is what I got a problem with. I'm tired of hearing a lot of you fans, and I'm going to start calling you out. The reality of it is the Panthers couldn't stop the run very well last season. And this was something we escaped from because our offense was so inconsistent and more along the lines bad. Most teams came in here and they didn't worry about trying to do anything massively good. But when you become a good offensive team, listen, here's the reality. And I'll tell all of you, when you have a really good offense or an offense that's capable of scoring, teams are going to prepare for you differently. They're going to look more different ways to attack you. With us, they're just going to look at it and say, well, last year they looked at it and say, hey, look, we're not going to risk it. We'll just run the ball, maybe take a shot here or there, find little ways to not put the ball in danger. Knowing that last year you had guys like Frankie Louvu, Brian Burns, a healthy Derek Brown, Edo Gross-Matos, as well as Jeremy Chin. And even Von Bell. You had all of these guys that you could not afford to throw that football in the middle of the world to. You knew you couldn't throw that up. And we can even throw out J.C. Horn because Kirk Cousins threw one right at you, brother. Listen, I got a lot of love for you, J.C., but in order for you to get that payday that you're looking for, you got to make those plays. There's a lot of guys out there that can knock it down. And I'm not picking on you, brother. You got to be able to make that play. But back to the point, I'm hearing a lot. I even heard these guys on the fan. Is it the scheme or is it the players? Genius, it's the players. Look at what we got on the front line. None of them are Derek Brown. Bruh. I mean, seriously, I really get sick and tired of analysts and show hosts trying to kind of nudge a little bit. They want to nudge a little bit. We are limited as the resources that we have. I was so disgusted. I was so upset because, you're sitting there. Listen, Shy Tuttle and Ashawn Robinson are not bad players, but you're talking about they're the guys that are around Derek Brown. Derek Brown was supposed to be that dude. He was supposed to be that dude. You're not supposed to be asking Ashawn Robinson and Shy Tuttle to become what Derek Brown is. Derek Brown is elite for a reason. You lose a guy that broke the all-time NFL single season record for tackles. I was disgusted with that. I really was. I was listening to 99.9 The Fan, and I remember, I don't know if it was Dennis Cox or Chris Lee. One of those two guys said, is it Coach Avero? Is it Coach Avero? And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, how can you blame someone that not only lost arguably four of his top pieces due to free agency, thank you, Dan Morgan, and then you turn around, you have replaced one of them, because Jadeveon Clowney is in no way Edo Gross-Matos. And then on top of that, Josie Jewell's a pretty good player, but you did not replace Frankie Louvu. Josie Jewell is a tackler. Frankie Louvu is a tackler and a game wrecker. You can say what you want. A lot of you are going to laugh at me and say, game wrecker? Yes, a game wrecker. A lot of the reason why Washington defense is any good is because they have Jeremy Chin and Frankie Louvu on it. I don't really see a lot of names that jump out at me on that Commanders defense. There's not. I know they lost, I think it's Allen, the defensive tackle for the season. That's going to have a lot to do with how they move going forward on defense. But then you look at Ito Gross-Matos, a huge piece in what they're doing in San Francisco. And I'm so tired of hearing, just because you have a mic, you have a right to just blurt off and say what you want. Coach Avero's not the problem. You can say what you want. Let me back that up. You can say what you want, but at least have some common sense behind what you're saying.
What a dumbass.
Coach Avero's scheme has always been one of those where the run is a weakness. They still got one of the best pass defenses. Dennis and Chris.
Dumb shit. Dumb shit.
Exactly. I'm coming at y'all because you're trying to get rid of a coach, in my opinion, that's got head coach written all over him. And you want to sit there and say, let's change? You can't get a pie out of crap.
Cut it out.
Guys, I'm sorry about that, but when you get people that are supposed to be reporting and not putting their own personal opinions out there, especially ill-willed ones, because the reality of it is Coach Avero's not the problem here. He's shown what he can do. And the one weakness in this defense is they have trouble stopping the run, especially if their front three guys are hurt, any of them. Because I can guarantee you Coach Avero went in with the idea that I'm going to have all three of these guys and they will be able to run the scheme the way I want, cover the edge and cover the inside so that my linebackers can turn these guys back into Josie Jewell and Shaq Thompson. We don't have either of these guys. So for Dennis and Chris to consistently say it's the scheme, well, what are you going to do in the middle of the season when three of your most important players are gone? Now, I don't like to use this term, but that's just plain Jane stupid to say that. And asinine. Oh, let's fire him. Oh, you think somebody else is going to come in here and do any better? Well, let's see. You get rid of Avero, guess what's going to happen? Our passing defense is going to get worse. Oh, would you rather us not be able to throw for, give up less than 170 yards a game? I mean, you want to give us to give up more than 170 yards? How about let's give up 300? Kirk Cousins just came off of a 500-yard performance. He only threw for 225. And I know a lot of people are going to say that's because they ran the air out of the ball. Okay. But the truth of the matter is, you look at Kirk Cousins, he had a 52-yarder to Pitts that really had not a lot of air time. It really didn't. I mean, you take that 52-yarder away and we tackle Pitts a little bit better. He's under 200 yards passing. But the thing that really irritates me is when I hear people that agree with what they're saying, that Evero needs to go. Under what pretense does he need to go? We've got one of the worst pass rushes in this game. And the reason being is because Dan Morgan put together a horrible front seven on the rush end. And now you have no Shaq Thompson. Now, I will say this. Trevin Wallace has been a major find. I will give him absolutely 100% skills for that. Because he had 9 tackles in this game. And Troy Hill finally showed me why I bragged on you. Thank you for showing up, my brother. Troy Hill, and you can see Xavier Woods and company, they're getting more involved at the line of scrimmage. And I'm seeing that that's more than likely what Coach Avero is going to do. He's going to play more nickel and probably send Troy Hill on more blitzes. That's what I would do. Run blitzes too. But see, he's having to do a lot of different things. And most of you that don't know the game, you miss in this scheme, if you've got both your middle linebackers missing, your starting linebackers missing, That's about as bad as missing your safety, your star safety, and missing your star edge rusher. That's not good. But let's get back to the offensive side of the ball. I was actually particularly proud of the defense, regardless of the 38 points they gave up. Because, like I said, looking here, you look at the interceptions that Dalton threw. You got to understand, you keep going away from the run. I don't know what it's going to take for Coach Dave Canellis to understand we've got a big, strong, powerful line. Why are you forcing them to pass block? And the reality of it is they're not biting you on your play fakes. They are setting you up to get guys outside. I get it, but this is why I don't understand why we have so many talented wide receivers on this team. This should be a tight end based offense. This is what it should be. I mean, you're not built to, run these type of offenses where you're going up and down the field. Let's just stop trying to be something we're not. Canellis, stick to running the football. You can be creative. Get Mingo the ball. Get Xavier Legette the ball. Heck, even get Deontay Johnson running the ball some. It's that simple. You don't have to show the world, hey, this guy can throw for 300 consistently. He's already done that. Now everybody's waiting on it. You passed that test. Leave that alone. But this is the issue that is failing the Carolina Panthers. Got to give another growl out to these wonderful jerseys. I love them. I think they're awesome. I would love to see this combo again. The black tops. There was some people that didn't prefer it, but I love the black tops with the blue jerk unis. Wonderful. Love that color combo. Got to go with it again. I know it won't be this year, but got to keep that in the repertoire. But guys, at the end of the day, we got to realize, and this whole trade talk with Chuba Hubbard is just utterly ridiculous. Chuba's hot. I mean, if you're going to sit here and say, hey, we're going to trade our best asset, because Miles Sanders ain't cutting it, y'all. 3 carries, 1 yard. And then Chuba gets 18 for 92. You think we're going to be able to do anything if Miles Sanders is running the football? I mean, we can sit here and talk about Brooks all we want. He ain't going to be ready to tote the ball 18 times. I can tell you that right now. If I'm Canellis, I'm keeping him out a couple of more weeks. If anybody's going to get traded, my thing is I'm trading Miles Sanders. You can sit here and call it what you want. This makes about as much sense as a cat trying to sunbathe under a hot engine. Yeah, that's what I said. This has got to go down in the annals as one of the weirdest things I've ever heard. You don't need to think about trading Chuba Hubbard. Not unless you want a tank, and then in that case, you need to just go back with Bryce. Because like I said, right now, as much as y'all were praising Andy Dalton, it's starting to come unraveled. It's starting to come unhinged. That was game number 4, and this time, he didn't look so hot. And the reality of it is, it ain't gonna get no better. I'm just keeping it real. 26 of 38, 221, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Deontay Johnson had another good game. 6 grabs, 78 yards, a score on 10 targets. Jatavian Sanders, 5 catches, 49 yards, 21 was his long. He had 7 targets. Jalen Coker, the rookie, the speedy rookie, had 3 for 30 and had a 15-yard long. He caught all 3 of his. Xavier Legette, 323 and another touchdown score, which was a beautiful throw and catch. Sanders had a catch for 12 yards. Chuba Hubbard, 5 for 11. Mingo had a grab for 1 yard, which was a horrible throw. Great grab by him. This has got to be a situation where the Panthers, Canales, have got to sit down and they've got to have a discussion with Coach Avero and ask him, what can we do to stop the run? And they're seriously going to have to ask Coach Avero, does he have any options as far, or any kind of ideas of getting this knocked down? Because you can't give up 200 yards on the ground every week. Now, I'm not gonna be like the rest of y'all. Oh, fire him. Oh, or like the guys on the fan saying, oh, does he need to be removed? That's like saying I can only fix a vehicle with a crescent wrench, but you gonna fire me if I can't. Come on, dude. That makes no sense. I'm not even gonna entertain that anymore. But 38-20, you guys, we fall to 1-5 on the season. And guys, I'm gonna say it like this: I am disheartened a little bit, but we've got to continue to work. We got to continue to get better. And as much as I want to be upset, I can't overly be upset because the reality of it is our front seven is ravaged. We've got a serious problem within our front seven. And as I said before, until we address that, it's not going to be. I would say go out and get Hassan Reddick, but the question is, are the Panthers going to give him an extension that they should have gave him 3 years ago? I would say that, but Hassan Reddick's a pass rusher. Could that be the answer that we get along with Jadeveon Clowney coming back? I think it could open some gateways, but I don't think we're going to be able to get them. I think there's going to be other more enticing offers out there and winning prospects. But let me know what you think about Coach Avero being removed and possibly the Panthers going out and maybe going to get Hassan Reddick. I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe they watch the show and say, hey, let's go do it. But guys, make sure if you like the content, make sure you subscribe and like, of course. Also, go to my Instagram at Mr. CeeLo and see the other things that I'm talking about. I put out a minor short about Hassan Reddick requesting that trade, as well as the Jets making the move for Aaron Rodgers, as well as the Buffalo Bills making that move for Amari Cooper. Also, go make sure you comment down there. If you become a member of the Growling and Prowling family, as far as subscribing, make sure you hit me down in the comments so I can add you. So when we get that 100 subscriber, we can go ahead and have that drawing and find out who is going to be the winner of the Growling and Prowling shirt that y'all still hadn't made. Anyway, time to get out of here, you guys. But until the next time, keep prowling the airwaves and keep growling out. Keep pounding.